It is a summer day in 1950. A group of physicists are walking to lunch, joking about flying saucers. The conversation moves on. And then, in the middle of the meal, Enrico Fermi suddenly looks up and asks a question that nobody can answer. Where is everybody? Here is why that question hurts. Our galaxy contains somewhere between 100 billion and 400 billion stars. Many of those stars have planets. Even if only a tiny fraction of those planets could support life, we should still be looking at millions of possible cradles for civilization. And our galaxy is old, very old. A civilization that started just a few million years before us, a blink in cosmic time, would have had enough time to spread across the entire galaxy, even traveling far below the speed of light. So the math says the galaxy should be crowded. The sky should be full of visitors. And yet, when we look up, silence. No signals. No ships. No one. That gap between what should be and what we see, that is the Fermi Paradox. And for 70 years, thinkers have proposed answers, each one stranger than the last. Maybe we are simply first. Someone has to be. Maybe life is common, but intelligence is a freak accident that happened exactly once. Or maybe there is a great filter. Some wall that almost no civilization survives. If the filter is behind us, we are incredibly lucky. If it is ahead of us, that is a much darker thought. Or maybe they are out there, and they are staying quiet on purpose, watching us like animals in a zoo, or hiding because in a dark forest, the one who makes noise is the one who gets eaten. For decades, this was pure philosophy, armchair reasoning. But then something unusual happened. The United States government started opening its files. In February of 2026, the American president ordered federal agencies to declassify their records on unidentified anomalous phenomena, the official term for what everyone still calls UFOs. In May, a government website went live, and the files started dropping. Batch 1, Batch 2, Batch 3. Decades of reports, photographs, videos, and witness accounts, some dating all the way back to the 1940s, now sitting in public view with fewer redactions than ever before. So, what is actually in there? Mostly honestly, disappointment. The Pentagon office responsible for investigating these cases received 319 new reports in its latest annual cycle. It managed to resolve over 100 of them, and every single resolved case turned out to be something ordinary. Balloons, birds, satellites, aircraft, drones, one rocket launch, and gloriously one man on a jetpack. But here is where it gets interesting. Not every case gets resolved. Nearly 200 reports were moved into what the office calls an active archive, cases where the data is simply too thin to explain what happened. And in one of the newest declassified documents, signed by the director of the Pentagon's Anomaly Office himself, there is a description that sounds like science fiction. Law enforcement officers, over 2 nights watching an orange orb in the sky, a mother orb, releasing smaller red orbs. The report states that roughly 40% of the phenomena in that collection remain unresolved. 40%. Let that sit for a moment. Now, unresolved does not mean alien. This is the most important sentence in this entire video. Unresolved means exactly what it says. Not enough data, a blurry sensor reading, a light that vanished before anyone could get a second angle. The official position across every report has stayed the same. No evidence of extraterrestrial visitors, no recovered craft, no bodies, no physics-breaking technology. But here's the philosophical twist. The files were supposed to settle the question. Instead, they handed us a perfect mirror of the Fermi Paradox itself. Because think about what the files actually give us. A pile of solved cases that are all boring, a pile of unsolved cases that are all ambiguous, and a gap in between. A gap where you can project whatever you already believe. If you think we are alone, the files prove it. Look, it was balloons all along. If you think they are here, the files prove that too. Look, 40% unexplained, orbs releasing orbs. What more do you want? The evidence did not change anyone's mind. It just gave every side better ammunition. And maybe that tells us something uncomfortable. Not about aliens, but about us. Fermi asked, "Where is everybody?" But the files force a second question. If everybody was here, would we even be able to agree on it? What would count as proof? A photo can be faked. A sensor can glitch. A witness can be wrong. At some point, the question stops being about what is in the sky and starts being about what it would take for us to believe anything at all. So where is everybody? Maybe nowhere. Maybe everywhere. Maybe the silence of the universe is the answer, and maybe it is just the sound of us not knowing how to listen. The files are open now. The sky is the same as it always was, and the lunch table question from 1950 is still sitting there, unanswered, waiting. Where is everybody? Maybe the scariest answer is the simplest one. Maybe it is just us.